Hello everybody, from Beaver Stadium, Justin Morganstein along with Seth Engle and Max Ralph, where number 7 Penn State was just shocked by Illinois at home on homecoming, 20-18, and this game was kind of everywhere. Of course, 9 overtimes being the primary story, but of course Penn State, their run defense did not come to play today. 395 yards on the ground for Illinois, and while their defense let up only 10 points in the game, that was a major storyline. And of course, Sean Clifford's health on the offensive side of the ball, also a major player in this game. So, Seth, I ask you, on the offensive side, what kind of went wrong for Penn State, and does Sean Clifford's health play that big of a factor, do you feel?
Well, obviously the question coming into this one was who's going to start. And I will say it was cool in the beginning when they announced starting lineups, and there was a huge roar when everyone found out, of course, Clifford would be starting. But as the game went along, you started to notice how much little that decision actually made because the run game just couldn't show up. And this was the game, we've said this every single week, but this was the game where, Illinois is the worst defensive team in the Big Ten, statistically. They're worst in total defense. So when you have that opportunity where it's expected you make that mark. It's not even, it's not something where we say, they just should come alive. They need to do that at this point. This is late in the season, and they didn't do that. They said they had a good week of practice on the ground. We didn't see that, and it hurt them.
Yeah, of course, Noah Kane was limited still with him recovering from injury, and Kevon Lee also left the game due to injury as well. But Max, on the defensive side of the ball, only 10 points in regulation we talked about, but they gave up those huge chunk rushing plays, and they couldn't make the final stop when they needed it as well.
Yeah, I mean, as much as the run game hurt the offense, it hurt the defense just as badly. The Iowa rushing attack was something that, or the Illinois rushing attack, sorry, was something that we knew coming into the week was going to be strong. They've got the 2 backs who are pretty solid. And, we heard all week that they ran a nice stretch run game, and we heard after the game today that they kind of introduced some new looks, and Penn State had to adjust to it, and it didn't work out too well. So, they got gashed all day. On the bright side, they did win the turnover margin. I think we had a fumble and an interception.
3 turnovers.
3 turnovers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you win the turnover battle, you got to expect to win a game. The bend don't break did come into play with only allowing 10 points, but you got to see it a little bit more from the defense side.
Well, that is going to wrap us up from Beaver Stadium, where things do not get any easier for Penn State in the coming weeks, as they will travel to Columbus to play Ohio State next week in a big showdown. Make sure to follow the Daily Collegian for coverage for the rest of the day at collegian.psu.edu and on social media at PSU Football.